Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Universe. We are here on a Wednesday night for a little mock draft after dark. And how do you know it's late? Because you've got an Aaron and SC combination. Shit, I don't think we've done one of these since the Mad Science Lab podcast. We are like on opposite sides of North America, so our schedules don't normally line up unless we're doing something on a Sunday afternoon, but we are here 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We are going to do a little, I think we're going to do 5 rounds. We said we're going to see how 5 rounds goes, maybe extend it to 10, but this is Redraft IDP. It's got rookies, it's got veterans, it's got all of them, but it's only IDP. So for now, we have it set to 1 D line, 1 linebacker, 1 DB, and 2 flex. If we go further, we'll just double it. So that is the plan. We've got all sorts of written content. I'll probably do a recap of this mock later in the week. It'll be over at fantasyfootballuniverse.com, so check that out, as well as all of our ADP articles. SC's got some Devi stuff coming out, as well as on the YouTube channel here, he's got Devi Diamonds, Devi Dash. Devi Diamonds, I swear to God, every time I hear it, sounds like a bad stripper name. Devi Diamonds, not Devi Diamonds, boys. Let's not get too excited here, so...
Hey, if you want to throw the money at Debbie Diamonds, by all means, so they'll shake for you there. But no, man, good. I mean, you mentioned it. We have opposite schedules here, but how do you get us together? Talk some IDP, right? So let's get into it. Get into this. We hold it down for the IDP side for Fantasy Football Universe, so I'm excited to talk about some of these players and get a draft in. This can at least give you an idea of what you're gonna do in startup drafts when you do offense. Of course, we're just going defense, but at least know what guys were higher on than the other ones and stuff like that. So excited to talk about some of these.
Yeah. Well, it's good timing for me. Like I like doing a Wednesday night mock because this is my night off. So normally I'm just getting home from work and it's too late, but I got the night off. So I wanted to do a mock, but I've got a couple of IDP leagues running right now. So it's perfect time. I was like, I'm pretty deep into this right now. It's a good time to get a mock going. The thing I like here about the IDP only, like it gives you a better view of what to expect for actual draft order with just the IDP guys. Because I don't know about you, like my IDP guys, even the one where it's all IDP experts or whatever, it's like no IDP guys for like 7 rounds. Then you got a couple IDP guys mixed in here and there. So you're scrolling and it's like 2 guys here, 4 guys there, 5. And then at the end, it's all of a sudden a big IDP rush. So it's nice here to see it line up on the board. I've got... This is only my 3rd year here of doing IDP. It'll be my 2nd as an IDP ranker. So I'm kind of developing some various strategies. And I've said it a few times. I know in regular fantasy football, everyone's got zero RB, hero RB, bully tight end. There's hundreds and hundreds of strategies and game theory for regular fantasy, but there aren't really any for IDP. So the ones I've found that I love to stick to here, I guess it's 2, maybe 3. The one is the article I wrote that's on fantasyfootballuniverse.com the other day. That would be the green dot defender. So if you're not familiar with that, the green dot guy is typically a linebacker about 90% of the time. Every once in a while, it can be a defensive back, sometimes a corner. But that's the guy with the green dot on his helmet. It's quarterback on offense. On defense, it's typically a linebacker. And that guy, the reason it's important is that's your defensive play caller, which means that guy's on the field 95% of the time, and that's half the battle in IDP because some of the scoring's so random. So I like to target me some green dot defenders. The other one I have is I am a big sucker for why you'll see I like Micah Parsons. Give me one sec.
Probably going into your dual threat type of you're good. Your dual threat type of players.
Yes.
You have your top guys like Michael Parsons, TJ Watt, that they could be linebacker, the defensive lineman, and they even have some DBs that have that linebacker DB slot in there as well. Unfortunately with Sleeper, they only have your 3 positions if you don't include just the IDP, which is that flex. So you only have your defensive line, your DB, and your linebacker. There are some drafts or some places
they don't do that on Sleeper.
Yeah.
I hate it.
So you can have like your edge and LDB, and cornerback and safety for sure.
Absolutely.
That is ideally the perfect IDP league. Fantrax does it. I'm in the college fantasy IDP league, which is fun.
Yahoo does it. A whole bunch of leagues do it. I hate that Sleeper doesn't.
It kind of makes it, in a sense, it makes it better because you have these dual threat capability players as far as position wise. Because I don't know, like if Michael Parsons, would he still get that? Would he get the outside linebacker and the edge position there? Or would he just be the edge rusher or something like that, So it would depend on what system you're on or what platform you're on to use it. But dual threat capabilities, unlike your quarterback that's dual threat with running and passing, these are dual threats because you can slide them in positions, and I enjoy drafting those, especially later in drafts. I like getting them a lot more because, like, all right, I just want a guy that I can plug and play at this point, right? So a guy that has multiple positions that I'm like, all right, I can put him as DL, I can put him as linebacker, is where I try to get them as well.
No, and that absolutely is part of my strategy. Like I said, the green dot, and then I'm going for the dual threat. Like if I have two guys that are, same tier here, and I'm deciding if I got a chance to do dual threat, I'll do it. I'll have a team like this is 5 rounds. It is entirely possible that I get through this 5 round draft, with the exception of DB, because I don't think there's too many DL/DBs. But if I could, I'd have all guys who are /DL and all guys who are green dot, because those are my two biggest advantages. Like
Right.
literally, I will have, for this one, we only have one of each and then two flex. So I'll end up with probably a DL, then a DL/LB. Then this one's going to be a straight DB because, like I said, and then here I'll have two DLs because defensive linemen, especially the edge rushers, are by far the most, they're the studs of the fantasy IDP. So if I can find a guy at every position who's I can play a D lineman like Micah Parsons at linebacker, fuck that. I'm gonna have green dots and DL all over this damn board, and I love it.
There's two linebackers that I say are the studs that aren't the edge rushers that you speak of. But I agree, especially scoring obviously matters, but
Right there.
sacks, oh yeah, you know what it is. So scoring always matters, right? And tackles is a big one. Tackles is usually one where you get at least 1 full point for it. And you address the tackles, people that are getting heavily. But sacks, in some leagues, sacks are a lot of points. You get, like, let's say 3 points for a sack, but then in some leagues you can also get a point for the tackle that they get, which is an extra point, and then for the tackle for the loss that they get, which is another one. So you can actually stack up 3 different categories as one total point, which that makes a big difference if that's how your league is scoring, because that affects it all. You get the guys that get your sacks, like you mentioned, your Parsons, your Watts, Crosby's, because they get 18 sacks there. I mean, that could be the equivalent to 100 points damn near, depending on how your scoring is. So,
and that for the purposes of this league, we're just going to have basic most of them are standard across the board, which is why, like I said, I always have the hierarchy. For me, it's defensive linemen first. Once they're all gone, hit some linebackers, punt DB. I'll get them later. There's a couple of elite ones, but I guess we can kick this off. I'm not going to hit start, like I said. It's just me and you alternating picks for 5 rounds, so I'm going to have to just force the picks here, but I'm going to go with the obvious one for me here. You got a highly talented guy, and you've got the dual eligibility here. Give me Micah Parsons all day. I highly doubt you're going to have a whole lot to argue on that, but for you, is there anyone else you're considering over him at the 101?
Like I said, the 101 and 102, I'm taking my top 2 linebackers there. I'm not mad at Parsons. I get it. So I was thinking you'd go Foy, and it's really a toss-up because I think Roquan could do it, but Foy he's in that tier now where it's until he proves otherwise that he's not the guy. He's the guy right now. But I do love Roquan, but I'm gonna go ahead and get Oluokun, Jacksonville, and that's really because I know he's gonna rack up the tackles. I will say the thing that worries me is he has a good opposite linebacker, him and Devin Lloyd, who's a young linebacker, young promising linebacker that looks really good. But right now, Oluokun, man, he's just a man. So I want to go and get him.
See, okay, and I would take Foye 101 in all drafts, but because of this format, I'm making every other pick. The first thing that I thought was, even if you take Foye, I can still get Roquan, or if you take Roquan, I can get Foye. So that's why I went Micah Parsons, which means my linebacker here is going to be Roquan, which is, like I said, pretty standard there. So thoughts here for 104? You're up.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at these real quick. Man, it's just you're on the money with the dual eligibility, man. I want to take Crosby so bad here, but TJ Watt.
I want Watt instead because of the dual.
Right, because of that. I mean, if Watt was just considered a linebacker, then I'd argue Crosby over him. But I guess it depends on Dynasty, because Dynasty, I feel I may take Crosby over him. But right now, 2024 season, I just want to take Watt. 19 sacks coming back from an injury. He had a but a comeback season, if you will. So TJ Watt's the pick right there.
TJ Watt, I can't argue that. Like I said, this is one of the spots where I think they're pretty damn close, and the dual eligibility for me was the difference maker. Add in the fact that the next three guys, our next four guys, I think, off the board are straight up D linemen. Give me the one there. You made the right pick. Give you the one that has dual eligibility, and assume you're probably going to get two more DLs here. I am in a spot where I'm. It's going to be Max Crosby for me, but I think it's a homer pick. I love me some Aiden Hutchinson, but I think Max Crosby's the guy I got to go with here since you passed on him.
For
That puts
sure.
you back up at the 106.
And I think here again, I'm a sucker for the tackles here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get Zaire Franklin. Just get up those linebackers. Try to snag up your top linebackers because there's really a tier of 5 or 6 solid linebackers that are getting like 150 plus tackles. Zaire is one of those guys, so I want to try to snag those to just be my guy on the defensive side when it comes to the linebacker.
All right, which leaves me in a spot here where I am once again going linebacker. And like I said, I really wanted him at the last pick and didn't take him. This is a spot where, it's kind of tough because I really like, if you look at the one, two, three, the top five on the board, my least favorite of these five is Will Anderson, but he's the one who has the dual eligibility. He's not who I'm going to take. I'm going to go with the straight D lineman here. But like I said, you see now where I've got three, one, two, three. This is going to be my fourth pick in, and I'm going to have four guys who are pretty much defensive linemen, but some of
Yeah.
them are eligible at different positions. So that's kind of my strategy. If I can find people eligible at D line or D linemen eligible at other positions, I'm going to have a fucking, I'll end up with this. Like these two here, he's a straight up linebacker, but he's
Yeah.
so technically I have 3 DL here. So what are your thoughts here at 108?
No, Hutchinson's good. He's a young aspiring athlete. Argue that again, depending on scoring, he could be, a top 3 pick because of his youth and because he already saw some dominance in the league. So I love that pick there. Which actually I'm gonna follow that up with the DL as well. I'm not gonna get Nick Bosa. People may hesitate that the San Francisco's defense is stacked. I'm gonna go ahead and get Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is just a consistent as they come. He's one of the top defensive linemen, if not the top in the league right now. So really taking them at 108 kind of feels like a steal because you definitely got one of the best in the game right now at that pick.
See, this is kind of where it gets interesting for me here because I don't feel like there's a necessarily consensus pick here. I know Bosa's ranked the highest. I personally think I prefer Josh Allen. I
I was just
know,
about to say.
like, if this is Dynasty, I think it's an easy Will Anderson pick here. He's got the youth. It's
Well,
pretty.
Allen's not that old either, though. So I mean, it's not. He's
No, you're
26.
right. 26. Oh, okay.
So
So I thought maybe he's played so much longer. But I
yeah,
think, like I said, for the purposes, even in redraft here, I'm just gonna take me. I got me already. This will be my second or
yeah.
third eligible one. And so far out of 5 picks, every single one of them except for Roquan is
Okay.
also eligible at D line. So, and I think that's where you have to have it. So that puts you up at 110. Where are you going?
So again, we're just gonna go. I love me so well Anderson, but at this point, with the pick, if I was to pick 10, and let's say I had the 12 again, I think the other guy will get back to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get Fred Warner here. Again, just try to lock up your top linebackers. They get 130, 120 plus tackles every single season. Fred Warner is those guys. He's not falling off anywhere. He's still a top linebacker in the league.
Just looking here, I feel like it's interesting that you can just tell how much DB is devalued in standard because all these guys. I feel like I'm going. Is Kyle Hamilton really who we have ranked as the top DB? And it's just
Oh yeah.
because they all go so late that
Mhm.
you never like. I was just looking. I see Kyle Hamilton, the first DB appearing on the top of the board here, but even with this pick, I wasn't considering it. For me, it's between Bosa and Anderson. I like
Mhm.
Edwards, but I think I'm gonna go Will Anderson. I like Anderson better than Bosa. I think he just seems to, the youth. Bosa has some health, from sometimes, like you said, and it's pretty
Mhm.
stacked San Fran defense. But I guess I'll continue my trend. That one was a dual eligibility, but I think I took Anderson just because I liked him better, not necessarily the dual. But that puts you up here to close out round 1.
And so Bosa's screaming, right? You see Bosa at the top, and you're like, "Oh, that's the pick right there." Just consistently getting 12 sacks a season or more, just being a top guy. TJ Edwards is there, which is nice because he's definitely one of your top linebackers there too. I really like Okerke. I think O'Kirky's a great pick. I think Giants defense is based around what he can do for them. And then you have Daniel Hunter. Like you took Anderson, Hunter's right there with that dual eligibility as well, and he's now in Houston. So will that? He had a great year in Minnesota. Will that affect him, or will it actually benefit Anderson? What's going to happen there? I would love players to choose from right here at the turn here. I think I have to go Bosa. It's at the last pick of the first. If you're talking about tiers and eliteness, I just feel Bosa's more of a guaranteed lock to just get you those points. So
I see you talked through a couple of players there. Were you at all considering a DB, whoever your DB one was? Because for me,
no.
with who's left on the board here, Edwards, Okereke, Hunter, and Ernest Jones are all going off the board for me before I go Hamilton, Winfield, whoever. So I wasn't even considering it.
Not that I don't like Kyle Hamilton, but at cost when those other players are on the board, I'd rather try to get Brian Branch. I'd rather get Cole Bishop in the late round, So as much, Hamilton is definitely the top safety in the league, but I can pass on him right now with who else is available.
All right, it's Snake, so you get the two. Actually, one sec. Let me recap here. So first round, we had Micah Parsons, Foye Oluokun, Roquan Smith, TJ Watt, Max Crosby, Zaire Franklin, Aiden Hutchinson, Myles Garrett, Josh Allen, Fred Warner, Will Anderson, and Nick Bosa. IDP is always a lot more fun for me to do the recap because I have to look and see if I remember their first names and then if I can pronounce their second names. So you're back on the clock. You're at the 201.
So I was not aware it was Snake, so that's even better. So you got your top defensive lineman, arguably the top defensive lineman in the league. And then I could go out there and get the linebacker, my top linebacker on the board, and that was Okereke there. So
I love Okereke. That would have been my pick. So that's a great pick there. I'm torn, I think. For me, it's between TJ Edwards, who's looked great, 27. Obviously, this isn't Dynasty, so it doesn't so much. I hate some of the way Sleeper does IDP. You look and it's like 300 points, ranked 900. You're like 505. How is he 505 overall? How was TJ Edwards linebacker 54 last year? What were the settings?
You're looking at like 500 overall, and he has 300 points. You're like, damn, all right, who was 20 overall? They must have like 700 points.
Number 2. Okay, how are you DE number 2 but 419 overall? Does that make any sense? But so that was my pick right there, Danielle Hunter. I know it's a new team, but I like the veteran here. Once again, we've got some dual eligibility because I'm a sucker for it. But
with that, though, you got that. Are you sure you want to take it because you also have his other Texan counterpart? Like, are you comfortable playing both of those right there, even with the dual eligibility?
I don't mind that. I didn't realize they were right above each other. But so theoretically, if that was one team, I'd have a stack here. But I don't mind it, actually. I don't. They're obviously not as productive as a quarterback wide receiver stack, but I don't mind an IDP stack if you can get a couple of guys to feed off each other. Like you get Hutchinson and someone on the line with them, or I don't mind that. So I don't hate it. And you're up at the 203.
So I'm actually gonna go off the rims here and get one of my dogs, just the guy I get in every IDP draft I can. Sometimes he's the first linebacker I take. That's how much I love him, and I'm gonna go get the man. Freddie Mercury himself, Patrick Queen, new Pittsburgh Steeler there, and take him as my other linebacker there. So
where is Queen down here?
Right below Thibodeau there.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So I'm trying to look here. Can I see rosters by? Okay, so I've got. I forgot we're not. It's individual rosters. I'm trying to look through here what we had, but we're not actually. This isn't all one team, so. Screw it. So I am up on the 204. I don't know. I don't know if I'm still considering or if I'm going to start to consider a DB. I notice pretty soon we're going to have where all the top players are DBs, but I think I still want TJ Edwards. I'm pretty sure he's going to have the green dot. I think it's him. I know it's a straight up linebacker, so that doesn't fit my typical, but when you can't get a dual threat, go with the green dot. I'm going TJ Edwards.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. Another guy that's just consistently doing well, getting the tackles he needs, and he got his contract extension, so that's what you wanted from a guy to prove that. With me on the clock, I think I go Ernest Jones. He showed last year that he could be the guy. He could be the guy in the middle for the Rams there, and I think he's going to continue to do that and just rack up the tackles. And they really have a revamped defense in general. So with him knowing the system, that's going to benefit him well to actually lead the charge there.
Linebacker 620. Fuck you, sleeper. Good God. Are you fucking there's 620 linebackers in the NFL? Like, really?
Right.
I
They're
love
including
that.
college linebackers.
Yeah. That would have been my pick. I love that one. See, I think we're gonna continue on with my IDP strategy here. I know it's got DB, 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 but I'm not going DB until DB reaches out and punches me in the face. That's my typical strategy here of punt DB till it can't be punted anymore. This is an interesting one. Nick Bolton. I like me some Nick Bolton, but I also like Kayvon Thibodeau. 622. Yeah. 31, 42, and then 622. I know he was injured, but fuck me, sleeper. Get your shit together. And then 1-1. Okay. Look at Thibodeau here. Really?
Thibodeau's a boss. Top guy.
He's a what?
Thibodeau's a boss. He's a top guy.
Yeah. Thibodeau was going to be my pick. I like to look through these and see how ridiculous some of the rankings are. But this is why, especially in IDP, you got to prepare this shit in advance because you go in, you see people go into their first IDP league and they're drafting off the ADP.
Yeah.
Fuck, good luck with that.
Oh, yeah. And this is where it gets crazy because you will say, like, Alucon, like, in an offensive style startup IDP draft, I may be taking him honestly like as early as the 6th round, just because I know that's how good he is. That depend on what I have already on my team. If I don't need like more, like if I feel comfortable with my top 5 guys, right, I would definitely consider taking him there. But then also you could go, 8th or 9th round. I think sometimes they fall, but yeah, once that first defensive player comes off, then you typically have a wave there.
I think I was planning on taking him in the 6th round of mine, and I feel like I was at the end of the 6th, and I feel like someone took him on the 5-6 turn. So, but you're up at 2-7 here with DB screaming at you here.
Yeah. Larry having this lead, so Zaire Franklin. I really want to say Hamilton, man, but you know what? I'm gonna go. Let's get Hamilton. I'm gonna go ahead and get Hamilton.
There we go.
Top dog.
First DB off the board is Kyle Hamilton. Why Kyle Hamilton and why a DB now?
He's a versatile one. He could be lined up in the box. He could play outside and get into coverage. He could get in your face. He could be physical. He can get the interceptions. Really looking at the board, Nick Bolton was screaming there too, just because he is one of the top linebackers. But coming back from the injury, had that out. Will he get back to 180 tackles? I'm not sure. You look at Montez Sweat there, Brian Burns, Terrell Bernard. Definitely could have gone one of those guys. I just really think Hamilton, with his versatility and being all over, he's gonna be a guy that's on the field just as much as Roquan. So
I tell you what, if these were actually drafted teams and not just me and you, Team 6 is by far the riskiest build. How about the punt D line through 2 rounds of an IDP? You got a straight up linebacker and a straight up DB. Team 6 is the all YOLO team there, man. So I am going to continue to punt DB, and I'm going to put at me some Nick Bolton here. He is probably, oh no, that's not true. Maybe Montez Sweat. Him and Montez Sweat were, I think, the last 2 left before I say, fuck it, I'm taking a DB. So I'll go Nick Bolton there. I like to start there. We've got DL, LB. Crosby has solo eligibility, so it's straight up DL, I believe. Yeah. So it's DL, LB. I don't mind that start. Who are you going to pair here with TJ Watt, who is a dual threat?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go get another just straight up linebacker, and that's the one that proved it last year. He could be the guy in Terrell Bernard. I think he's definitely going to be one of your green dot guys too, and he's going to be leading that defense in Buffalo. That's really a revamped defense as well. Buffalo's in kind of a soft rebuild, if you will, because they still have their star quarterback. But Bernard's going to be one of their top guys there, so I think that's a great fit with him and TJ.
This is a spot where I think, like, I like Montez Sweat. He would have been the one guy, and I'm going to take him, but he was the one guy where I'm starting to think maybe DB, but Roquan is a straight-up linebacker, so that makes it easy. If I was actually building this team, taking what I think is the last of this tier of D-line before I go. I can probably, assuming it's a snake, I can probably get a DB when it comes back around. So I would be going DL here to make sure I start off with a DL and a linebacker instead of just taking, what looks to be a pretty even tier here. There's a whole bunch of DBs, even if there's a run, so I
Yeah,
miss out and go DL. But that brings you up here with Aluakon at
yeah. So
211.
Brian Burns is right there, right? Brian Burns is probably signing with the
Yeah,
Giants.
if you need me to
Probably the
scroll
guy.
up, let me know. I know you
No, you're
can't
good.
see.
No, you're good. I was looking at the my on the phone too. So, man, can I be spicy?
Do it.
Let's go ahead and get the top rookie IDP guy. Let's get Leatu on that board.
Ooh, how
Leatu
far down
Latu.
is he? Oh, he's not as far down as I
No,
thought.
he's right
I
below
like that.
Quay.
Is that the
Bro,
top DL? Okay, Brian Burns.
no,
What do you think? You don't like
Burns
Brian
and
Burns
Buckner.
over him in New York?
I just love Leatu. Brian Burns, it's gonna be interesting because you still have Kayvon Thibodeau, you still have Okereke there as well. So curious to see if he's still gonna maintain that heat that he had down in Carolina. Leatu has DeForest Buckner, who was right above him as well. But man, if Leatu Latu is healthy all season, he is going to be a dominant edge rusher for the team. He's gonna be able to get around, add that pressure to a quarterback, get everything you need, tackles in the backfield, tackles, sacks, all that kind of stuff. So I'm a big fan of him, so I'll go ahead and take him that early.
And then I went Buckner here to finish it out. I know Parsons has dual eligibility, but I want another DL here. It's amazing sometimes how much I'll punt DB. But to recap the second round, we got Bobby Okereke, Daniil Hunter, Patrick Queen, TJ Edwards, Ernest Jones, Kayvon Thibodeau, Kyle Hamilton, Nick Bolton, Terrell Bernard, Montez Sweat, Leatu Latu, and DeForest Buckner. And it is up to me. Oh, no, it's not. Do I? One sec.
Yep.
This is not supposed to be third round reversal. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm not trying to steal a pick from you here, but I don't know too many IDP leagues with third round reversal. So it's back to
if
me at
you
the 301. But
if your commissioner does that live in the draft, kick your commissioner
yeah,
out.
yeah. Okay, well, yeah, it's pretty mock drafted. It's just me and you. So I think you'd agree there aren't too many third round reversals in IDP. So back to what I was saying here with taking Sweat. Now we've got, see, these DBs, he's guaranteed to get one of the top four. And I took Buckner here knowing I was going to take, I like Sauce here personally. So that's why I'm going to take. And then even if you go one, I can add, now I have one of each on here. So I
But
like to build
Sauce,
that thing.
you like Sauce as a top DB. He's more of a shutdown guy, right? So why not
Yep.
target a safety rather than a cornerback?
I don't know. I think I'm just a Sauce stan. I know they end up avoiding him, but I just I don't know. I love him. I know he's going to travel, but I'm just going to go Sauce here. I know
That's
Antoine
fine.
was probably the pick, but I'm a stan.
That's fine.
So
Gotta get your
that
guys,
means
man. So
you get a steal here at 302. Who is it?
yeah, and yeah, this one is so. If you look at this, sometimes you want to get your rainbow, right? So you want to get your linebacker, your defensive lineman. Why not get your safety? Winfield is definitely screaming there. Man, but you want to talk about guys? I'm gonna have to go get Jesse Bates. He's proven time and time again he could get over 100 tackles. He's a leader on that Falcons defense that's kind of still youthful and getting there. And Jesse Bates is gonna bring in the tackles. So now, depending on what Latu does, I have two guys that I believe will get over 100 tackles. And if Latu could get 8 to 10, 11 sacks, I mean, I think that's a great lineup there.
Yep, and for me, that makes it an easy pick. This team is going to need a DB. I'm taking the guy I passed on, although I do like some Derwin James. I'm going to go Antoine Winfield here, which puts you at, what do you have, linebackers? Terrell, is he dual? No, huh? You have two
No,
straight up linebackers, so I
I
suspect
think
you're not
Bates.
going to go linebacker here. Well, who's your pick?
No, and
Well,
this one,
TJ's dual. TJ's dual, I forgot.
but I'd go Brian Burns with this one. And go ahead and get the guy there. Derwin James would have been a nice one, but I want to make sure I have TJ Watt's more of the flex play because he can play both positions. So make sure I just have a locked in DL as well.
All right, and I wouldn't normally go DB here, although I do. I am a sucker for the rainbow, and I'm a sucker for Derwin James. So that's going to be my pick here to go with Crosby and Bolton. So we got some
Not
rainbows
bad.
here to start out, with the exception of Team Four. Brings you
And
up for Team Six.
not bad at Derwin James. Just that's the DL, the DB1 too. So that makes sense. 306. Man, I already picked that screaming down there. You will have some dual eligibility guys. I think I'll go ahead and get Dallas Turner down there with Minnesota.
Son of a bitch.
I think that's someone that, I think that's a phenomenal move by Minnesota. What they did, he's going to fill into that Daniel Hunter role. He's going to be one of their top guys this year.
I like that pick. That would have been my first rookie off the board, but I was always higher on it. And Latu just scares me. I know it's been a while since his injury, but that fucking injury, he was medically retired at one point. So that scares the shit out of me. I like Dallas Turner there. So I've got two teams here. I've got a straight up D line. I forget Thibodeau's a split, so Thibodeau gives me some flexibility. I'm not going to reach here. I love me a rainbow, but I'm not reaching for Xavier McKinney. I think the pick here for me, it's between Quincy Williams for me. I'm not a huge Jordan Brooks fan. I like Quincy. The other guy I always liked, I'm a big Christian Watson fan. Don't like the new surroundings. I love Christian Watson much more on Miami. I'm not sure if the Raiders hurt or help his value, but I think I'll hold off on him and just go with Williams here.
How about pick? Quinton Williams is definitely a great asset for the Jets and definitely someone that adds the pressure to the quarterback and gets you some tackles there. Team 8, Garrett Ernest Jones. I'm going to go ahead and lock in another linebacker here because, again, a linebacker that can't get 100-plus tackles, and that's Devin Lloyd. He's a little bit down there in it, but Jacksonville's linebacker, I mean, him and Olu Kallman are just a deadly duo. One of the top linebacker cores in the league.
That's going to bring me to the guy I would have taken last pick. I want me some Christian Wilkins and just got to hope that he can keep it going in the Raiders. Scares the shit out of me, but we'll see how it goes. Love me some Wilkins. I think he's undervalued. Bringing you up here, you've got Fred Warner, Patrick Queen. So both these guys straight linebackers, I believe. Yes. I feel like it. Yeah. No split.
Yeah, they are.
Right? Okay.
No.
So you're probably not going with either of the two linebackers unless you're really going linebacker heavy here.
No.
Which is funny because four of the top linebackers, but go ahead.
So I was just looking at the team there. You know what? Let's do a linebacker hero. So let's go ahead and do that. So let me just take a look at these linebackers.
Hero LB.
Hero LB. Let's get it.
I love Alex Singleton, but that could just be me.
Singleton's that was the guy I was looking at.
Jordan Brooks, I know, is the one that stands out at the top, but I love Singleton, but that's just me. It's your pick.
No, I think he was one of the guys I'm looking at. Logan Wilson's not bad either. But I know Alex Singleton will be consistent. He'll continue to get those there. So let's go ahead and get Alex Singleton and just go heavy. I was looking at Brooks, Singleton, and then honestly, I was looking at Devin White potentially too, or Wilson. But Singleton, I think consistent as well. So linebacker hero, Fred Warner, Patrick King, Singleton. I like those as your linebackers there.
That's a good pick. I really like that one. This one, I got a DL and a linebacker, and I think I've let Xavier McKinney fall about as much as he can. So I'm going to throw in another rainbow here. Like I said, for me, the DBs, I don't typically take a DB unless I find that the DB has significantly fallen to the point where I have to take him. I think I'm at that point with McKinney where I feel like I have to take him here. So I'm going to color the rainbow here and bring it to you to close out round 3.
Yeah, no, we're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to get the rainbow there too with Brian Branch. I think that's just a solid guy to get there for it. And, he's a top safety that could get you some tackles and just be all around as well for Detroit.
Branch is way too low in that, but we'll go through third round here. Sauce Gardner, Jesse Bates, Antoine Winfield, Brian Burns, Derwin James, Dallas Turner, Quincy Williams, Devin Lloyd, Christian Wilkins, Alex Singleton, Xavier McKinney, and it closes out with Brian Branch, putting SC back on the clock at 4:01. You got yourself a nice little rainbow. Before you do it, so it looks like rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. We've got some flexibility. We have one team here at 8 is punting D line, and we have team 10 as a hero LB. So I've definitely taken some more balanced strategies. You've got a couple of hero teams here with the 0 DL and hero LB. So you've got, I think, the two most interesting and riskiest builds in the 6 and the 10. But they're still there, but you're keeping it interesting. So 401.
Strong linebackers here. Here, I'm going to get a dual threat guy. I'm going to get Alex Highsmith out in Pittsburgh. I think he's someone that, again, he just – the whole Pittsburgh defense, they have some dogs on that team, everyone that can eat, but they all complement each other really well. So Highsmith going there.
How far down is he?
He is No, I went to linebacker and he was there, so he is going to be
Oh, let me
below.
sort it by linebacker. Okay. I still. Oh, there he is. 74.
Yeah.
He's fucking way too low.
So just get him. He could get your sacks. He could do what TJ Watt does. Watt does it better, obviously, but Highsmith could get everything that Watt gets blocked on. He could go and get it.
Here, I think it's pretty obvious that I need to end the slide of Jordan Brooks and just say, fuck it. I know it's a new team. I know he's getting up there. What is he? How old is he? Oh, he's not.
No,
I thought he was older. I thought he was 29, 26. So
is this
I feel better seeing that, but I know the new team's a problem. Well, not a problem, but it's interesting. So we don't really know his role, but I think I got to end his slide and go Brooks.
again? He's just one of those players. He's been in the league so long already that you think he's
Yeah.
older.
Yeah, like look, what is it? Yeah, I guess he's only got 4 years. He just seems like he's been in. Like I started playing IDP, I think in 2015, and I feel like he was in the league then. Did he? Was there another Jordan Brooks before him? I swear he was on my
No,
first ever IDP roster.
potentially. I can't think of one off the top, but yeah, there probably was. At
It's up
least a
to you.
Jay Brooks.
I'm
Um,
thinking you're going Logan Wilson here because I know you eyed him a few picks ago. Or oh, you're
no,
gonna really go Hero LB here, buddy.
yeah, no. So here I can't, right? So I didn't fill out my roster here, so I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
go it there. I
yeah.
would
We're
though
gonna
if we
try and
had.
aim for legal rosters.
Yeah, so if it was 2-2 for sure, I would take him. But let's get ahead and with the linebackers that get all these tackles, I'll take a risk here and get Jared Verse out of the Rams there. Just I think he's gonna be able to start right away. He can bring some impact to the team, and that fills out my defensive line role without having so much fear because I know my IDP, my linebackers will get the tackles there.
Okay, so I got to start keeping an eye on some of these here myself because I haven't been looking. So team 9, I'm going to need a DB or I can go one more flex. I am just going to say screw it and I'm going to take Logan Wilson here and then I'll just have to paint myself into a corner and take DB next or yeah, DB next time. But Wilson I think is falling too far. I think Quay Walker's falling too far as well. That puts you up on the clock with the 8 here. The 8 needs is another team where it's DB or flex. So
Yeah.
who's your pick?
So Quay Walker does look interesting, but man, I'm gonna get spicy and go ahead and get me a Bynum down there. I think he could just be. Wait, actually, sorry.
Okay.
Petrie's still on the board, right? Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So actually, let me get Bynum. Let me get Bynum. I'll get Petrie. Let me get Bynum. Bynum showed up last year. I think he could be
Okay.
consistent again and be one of the top guys from Minnesota. So
That leaves you some flexibility in the final round. You're not worrying about filling out a position.
right.
Team 7, I'm on the clock with yet another team that needs a DB. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be forced. You're going to see me in this 5th round. I'm going to have out of my 6 teams, 4 of them are going to be forced into taking a DB, but I don't care because I'm going to take Quay Walker here because fuck it, YOLO, let's go.
There you
You're on
go.
team 6 here, which is a unique build. You need a DL. How about that? You don't
No,
see that? And I think this one's an
no,
easy pick here.
because Turner is dual eligibility, so Turner could be my DL.
Oh, he does. Okay. That's weird that they didn't put him as DL then.
Yeah,
Why did they put him as
yeah.
IDP? That's odd. Okay.
So
Strange.
you just got Quay Walker. This is the guy I was thinking about taking before Bynum, but I wanted to get the right pick and not force it here. So I'll go ahead and let's get another rookie here. And I'm gonna go ahead and get Edrin Cooper, a guy that I wrote a rookie profile on as well. I think he's in a great situation. It's gonna be between him and Quay Walker and who's their top guy outside. So I think Cooper can be that dominant edge rusher for them and get you some good points.
The first half of the board here, we get to my rainbow teams where I have flexibility. So we are going to go with, I can take whoever I want. It was, oh, and I missed it. I wanted to pair the 2 Williams brothers here, but I missed it. So, all right, I'm just going to go with the other Williams here. Quinnen. I like it. And then you are up next with team 4 who needs a DB.
So we're gonna punt that DB here, and I'm gonna go ahead. And this is just my dog. Who is this? TJ Watt Bernard. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get him. And this is gonna be CJ Mosley. For whatever reason, he continues to slip linebacker boards, but he is a consistent 115, 120 plus tackle, just consistent guy. I love me some CJ Mosley.
Yeah, it's the age. That's why 31.
Yeah.
31 years old on the Jets. So
Oh yeah. That's everything though. He's that veteran that just leads the
Yeah, yeah.
team, right? So it's like that's had he been 31 on like the 49ers, I'd be like, maybe I don't know. There's other youthful talent around there, but I think he could just dominate on the Jets.
I've got another team here that is a rainbow, and I can go best player available. I'm torn here because I really like Junior Colson, and I think he's a sneaky sleeper here to wear the green dot, but I just don't think I can pass on Jalen Carter. He's a monster, that big beast motherfucker. So
Yeah,
Jalen Carter is who I'm going to go with here.
that's a good pick. That's a good pick. I'm trying to see where I'm at.
Oh, one sec. I'll bring up team 2 here for you. You have Latu, Olukan,
Yeah,
and Bates, so you're wide open. You got a rainbow on this one. You can
yeah.
take whoever you want.
Colson screaming there as well. But man,
Yeah, that's
who? Oh, I got a DB, so I'm not gonna worry about DB actually.
yeah. You can take. You have 2
Yeah.
flex spots here on this team. You can take whatever you want.
Well, in a league like this, though, I only want one DB on my team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
no sense in getting another one here. So let's go ahead and get. Um, hmm, I'll go
For
ahead
me,
and
it's
throw it.
between El Shair and Colson. But
Yeah,
who do you want?
let's here. I'm gonna go ahead and get Colson. I'll take
Yeah,
that risk of him running with his coach again and running it back. So
you got a lot of rookies. I think you're the. I don't think I've drafted a rookie so far. No
no,
rookies. No rookies. All the rookies have been you so far. I'm a big Al Shair guy. I know it's a different team, same division, different team. You'd think there'd be some familiarity there. I'm going to double check just to make sure I'm not limiting myself position wise. No, I can take whatever I want. So my first pick in this round, the end this round is Al Shair. So to recap the fourth, we got Alex Highsmith, Jordan Brooks, Jared Verse, Logan Wilson, Cameron Bynum, Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, Quinnen Williams, CJ Mosley, Jalen Carter, Junior Colson, and Aziz Al Shair on a new team. I am going to end this roster here with it's either a DL or a linebacker. I probably already have 2 linebackers. What's the DL here? We got Trey Hendrickson. He always worries me with his health.
Henderson, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to
I'm sorry.
pass on. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll say, will it be is it Miles Murphy? I believe who they got. That it could be his time to come out and shine eventually. So am I thinking of the right name?
Bobby Wagner is so
Yeah, Miles
goddamn
Murphy.
old.
So yeah,
I,
Wagner's been on my radar this whole draft, really, but yeah, I don't know what he'll
I'm
do
gonna
in the new league.
pass and I'm gonna go linebacker here. So I'm gonna end up with kind of a bully linebacker myself and go 3. But the one I want is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who I think also could end up as a sleeper here with the green dot. So that will be mine there. So that team ends up with DeForest Buckner, Micah Parsons, Sauce Gardner, Aziz Al-Shair, and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. You are up next with your team, which you are wide open to take whoever you want.
And I think here I would go ahead and get a guy that I hope takes the next step forward, and that's Jack Campbell out in Detroit. Had a pretty good rookie season. I
Yes,
hope
he
he takes
did.
that next step up though, and becomes their guy as far as the linebacker position. So
Absolutely. Who was it they got? He's one where I don't think he wears the green dot this year. I think it's Alex
that's
Anzalone, but I
yeah.
think it could be Campbell. Let me look here. I want to see. I feel like Anzalone's been in the league. He was a Saint forever. I feel like he's getting a little old in the tooth or long in the tooth.
Mhm.
So I feel like it could be Anzalone for another year, but I feel like they're grooming Jack Campbell to slowly take over. So this might be one where I think I had it listed where Jack Campbell could also wear it, but I think it's going to be like one guy wears it 75% and then Campbell
Okay.
wears it 25 with the intention of grooming him to take over. So
I think they
um,
gave an extension to Anzalone last year, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, but I think like they've got enough in Campbell and he's young enough. I think he's the guy of the future here.
Well, I think that's why disagreeing with you on why they have him wear, more so this season because they gave him that extension to be like, okay,
Yeah,
still be our guy, but there's this next guy's coming up for you. So
yeah. So this build here, I've got anyone I want, and I think I'm going to stop Wagner from falling here, and I'm going to just take Bobby Wagner. So I got to go back to your team. Team 2 that you wrapped up had Latu, Foye Aluakon, Jesse Bates, Junior Colson, Jack Campbell. Then team 3 I finished off at Montez Sweat, Roquan Smith, Antoine Winfield, Jalen Carter, and Bobby Wagner, putting you on the clock with team 4. You need a DB.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and get Minka Fitzpatrick. Oh, yeah, I'll go ahead and get Minka. I have TJ there, but I'll
Why
get
Minka
Minka.
over Sertan?
I think Minka's just the more versatile one. Sertan, you're going to be more of a lockdown guy playing the quarterback, shadowing the defenders, or Minka's going to be more of your safety type of back. So I want him more so because I think he could get to the ball more than what Sertan can.
All right, so that team 4, ends up with Brian Burns, TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Terrell Bernard, CJ Mosley. So you've got a couple of New York teams and 2 Pittsburgh players. It will go to me here at team 5, wide open here.
I have every New York team.
Yeah.
uh,
Yep.
that's funny.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Buffalo in that too.
That's my Northeast team there.
So I don't like this part of the board because I'm not in love with the DBs
Yeah,
on the board. Hendrickson scares me. Devin White. I don't mind Witherspoon. Oh, there's my answer. I am gonna go with Tremaine Edmonds.
nice.
I like him. I know he was in my green dot conversation too for the Bears. So this team finishes with Max Crosby, Nick Bolton, Derwin James, Quinnen Williams, and Tremaine Edmonds. You are up on the clock next with Team 6, who is in need of a DL. We don't have any of those.
No, I still have Turner, so I'm gonna go
Oh, yes,
bullish.
you do. I keep forgetting. I don't know why. Why do they not have him up there? So
So,
you're wide open. Sorry. We did this
so
again.
assuming this is a redraft one, right? Redrafting, not your dynasty. I'm gonna go ahead and get just the old guy, man, the Papa David, Levante David there. Signed the extension with Tampa. He's gonna be their linebacker again, just one of their top guys. And this, you just go bullish linebacker here and just build up those tackles. So
Fuck is he buried? 34. I mean, I get it. Do I
yeah.
have the settings? Did I hit? Maybe I hit Dynasty by mistake, and that's why it's buried. No, it's not. I have just. Oh, they don't have Dynasty IDP on here, anyways. But fuck, is he buried? So that team finishes with. Fuck it. Look at the stupidity they have here. Now you have one player over because fucking stupid. So you have Dallas Turner at D line, Zaire Franklin, Kyle Hamilton, Edgerrin Cooper, and Levante David. So you have the extremes of the oldest of the old and the youngest rookies. So it's an interesting team build there. Team 7 comes up on the clock, and I need me a DB. I think I'm going to go. Let's see who I like here. I like the guy you mentioned earlier, Jalen Petrie here. Let's see, of Houston. That is going to be my pick there. So that team ends up with Aiden Hutchinson, Quincy Williams, Jalen Petrie, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Quay Walker. I like that team quite a bit. You're up next with Team 8, who needs anything they want.
This one I'm gonna go ahead and get Jalen Phillips. Just if he's healthy, he's a good person to have in your IDP teams. The issue
he's
is,
dual issue or dual eligibility.
The issue comes on,
So
is he healthy? That's been his biggest part. So
that it has. Coming back from a torn Achilles, 5th-year option, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're right. I like him, though. He was one of my favorites before the injury. Team finished Myles Garrett, Ernest Jones, Cameron Bynum, Devin Lloyd, Jalen Phillips. I like that team quite a bit, too. That's got some talent, firepower there. Team 9 is going to come to me with yet another team that punted DB. So we'll go, I'm thinking, I like Witherspoon a bit. I like CJ Gardner's talent, but I fucking hate having him on my team. Kyle Duggar stands. No, you know what? I'm gonna gamble here. I don't have a single rookie. I'm gonna take my first rookie, and I'm gonna go Cooper DeJean, the rookie for the Eagles. So that team ends up with Josh Allen, TJ Edwards, Cooper DeJean, Christian Wilkins, and Logan Wilson. I love that team right there. That's probably my favorite of all the ones I've drafted so far. You are up.
Who's the top guy? Who'd you get in the first round there?
Josh Allen.
Nice, yeah, okay.
So this brings you to Team 10, and you need a DB here.
So I'm gonna get this guy because I want to talk about him, and that's Christian Gonzalez out of New England. He's gonna fall down your draft boards because he was hurt last year. But before he got hurt, my guy was on a tear. This guy was 7 tackles, 6 tackles. He's a DB that's just aggressive. He gets after the ball. He's gonna be a ball hawk. He's tall. He's big, physical. Christian Gonzalez, don't sleep on him. If he's falling down, make him. Make sure you get him. What's going on, Face Off Sports Network? Appreciate you joining in.
All right, and this is going to be my last pick here of my team's slot 11. I am wide open here, so I'm just going to look and go best player available. I do not like anything that's left up top here. Trayvon Walker, I find very interesting to me.
He's
Uh,
he's been beaming, man, but he hasn't pushed that next step for me to be like, all right, you're a guy I necessarily want.
I agree. For me, it's right now. It's between Chris Jones and the guy I think I'm going to take is Justin Matabuike. I think that's who it is for me. It is. It's going to be Matabuike. I like saying his name. It's fun. Just a sec. Let me find
Okay.
that team. Oops. I clicked on the wrong fucking button here. One sec. Having technical issues with clicking the damn button. So that team ends up with Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, Xavier McKinney, Jordan Brooks, and Justin Matabuike. Don't love that team. I like all those guys, but I don't think that's the high-end team I would want. Not terrible, but it's not great. Final pick here, and your final team, Team 12, is wide open. You can take whatever
Yeah.
you want.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get my undrafted gem from last year, and that's going to be Ivan Pace. What
He
will
was
he
the
do this
third
year?
guy I was looking at out of Minnesota.
It'll be interesting with David Dallas Turner, Bob. He earned his spot last year after being undrafted. I was saying don't sleep on this guy. He was phenomenal in college. Don't know why he went undrafted. So I have him where I have him last year just because I was really heavy on him and people were sleeping on him. This year, a lot of people won't. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish it off and get him.
Yeah, he was the guy I was looking at when I made the pick here. He was the third guy. He's also in my sleeper green dot category, as I think he has a chance for it. He may not wear the green dot this year, but I think he's the green dot of the future. So it's a case of, you got one talented defender out of Minnesota, then they draft a rookie, but I like Pace. I like that as a
Yeah,
good pick. So that concludes our 5 rounds. We'll call it at that. We're at it almost an
yeah.
hour, so I'm going to go another 5. Anything really
Sure.
stand out here? Like I think we did a pretty standard draft. I'd be willing to bet if you look at my article of 32 green dots, I bet you we drafted 25 of them. We got a ton of guys who were dual threat or dual eligibility here. And then we pretty much punted DB every round until it was was punching us in the face saying you got to draft us. What stood out here
Well,
to
looks
you?
like that
Anything else?
round three. The round three is where we went on our DB chair, right? We had what six picks there in DB.
Yeah. 1,
Um,
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
It's just people falling. Is Dallas Turner gonna fall that high? He was one of the top guys off the board when it came to the NFL. Quay Walker. Are people gonna be sleeping on him because Edgerrin Cooper's there? Colson. What are people gonna think about him? That's big. Your DBs like McKinney and Brance. Those are two very good DBs that can get you some points there. So very risky take here. Especially when you add offensive into this, there's gonna be a wider gap because people are gonna draft offensive players as well. So
Absolutely.
it is very possible in IDP startups to have offense where you can have stud after stud. That you can have Olu Khan, Roquan Smith, and CJ Watt possibly on your team because people go after the offensive position. So if you want to be bully on IDP, I mean, you definitely can, and it is possible to have nothing but studs again because people punt it. So
The other thing I even find is because so many people punt it and there are so few real, experts at this, I find that even when I'm in a league where I end up punting it a little bit, I can still end up with some stacked rosters because most of my friends who do IDP leagues or attempt to do IDP leagues, they know the big name guys, but they don't know some of the sleepers down the board. They don't know which
but
rookies to target and which players. So I find IDP. IDP is like I always say. Everyone says get rid of kicker and defense or DST. Fuck that. Give me a kicker league. Give me a DST league. Give me an IDP league. Anything where I can get an advantage on a position that mainstream isn't hammered. Like you're not going to see 500 articles this week on sleeper IDP guys, but you'll
right.
see 500 sleeper running backs. So give me the one where not everyone knows what they're doing and I can fucking exploit it. I love that shit. And
Sleeper
that's why
IDP guys coming soon to the fantasy football universe. We'll have it
yes,
covered for you.
absolutely. And well, that's kind of did they wrap it up? Oh no, so we didn't do it, so you can still see the draft board. But that's the other thing. Like I'll have leagues where you'll bring in your friends and you'll do it, and they'll fucking be going like you're scrolling down the board here. You've got some of your guys start or whatever, whereas other people they're just going straight off of ADP and. The ADP is fucking ridiculous. As you've seen, we have two guys with almost identical stats. One's linebacker 64, the other's linebacker 2. So it's
Right.
all right.
For
Well,
sure.
thank you for tuning in to the Fantasy Football Universe. This is Mock Draft After Dark with a 5-round IDP redraft mock draft. For all of our content, written content, head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com. Check back tomorrow at noon. We are doing redraft tier list for wide receivers. I'm not sure if you're going to be there tomorrow, but I know it's me, Jesse, and Jeremy for sure. Thank you all for tuning in. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.